Hello, this is Dealer of Ideas. So the timing of my videos has been sporadic. Like I'll do a burst of videos and then I'll go like a long time without doing one. And the reason for that is because I am still sort of finding what works, and this video logging thing is new for me. And so I'm still trying to figure out sort of like my groove. Um, and I'm playing around with different sort of styles of doing the video log. And um, if you if you read my blog, you may have seen that I added a page recently called Productivity Log. And basically what I'm doing is I have been already since May 7th, so I've been doing it for over a week now. I have been doing like a real-time log. And what I mean by that is that whenever I'm at my computer, when I'm at my laptop, I will either update the list of what I've done since the last time I've been on the computer, or then in my session on the computer, I'll add to the list as I'm doing something new. So as soon as I decide to do something new, I add it to the list, even if I'm just about to start doing it. And also, as soon as I decide that I want to do something, then I'll put it on the list. Okay, now that part of it is powerful, right? So it's not only a real-time log, but it's also like you're like on the list, there's no differentiation between past, present, and future, right? The only thing that I do is if I finish something, I cross it out. And if I went to something else without doing something that I had put on the list before, so then that thing will be uncrossed, but it'll be surrounded by cross things. I highlight it, so then I can like instantly see like, oh, what are things I said that I was gonna do, but then I didn't do them immediately. Like I started doing other stuff instead, right? And so then I can also just look at the uncrossed things at the end of my to-do list and figure out like, so if I've been constantly updating the log, then I can just look at that log and figure out, oh yeah, that was the thing that I needed to do. Or there might be 3 or 4 or more things on it. It depends on exactly what type of logger you are. But you can see the things that like you had already told yourself at some recent point in time, oh, I want to do so and so, right? So I've been using this log and I've loved it. It's been super helpful. I would say like it's changed my life. Also, one thing about it is that it it forces you to be honest with yourself. Like if you only did one notable thing in the day, like you can record whatever you want on the list. Like, oh, I went to a restaurant, or like I had a phone conversation with my friend, whatever, you can just record that stuff. But you could also just exclusively record like productive stuff, or you could like do both or differentiate between them, whatever, make it your own. But like you'll be able to see like, oh, I only did one productive thing in the whole day, damn. And vice versa, if there's ever a situation where you're like, oh, I was just like on the computer for 3 hours doing work, but I feel like I didn't get anything done. Maybe that's because you did a bunch of small things. If you've been updating your log the whole time, you can go back and say, wow, I did all those things. So that brings me to the way that I have decided to do this video log today, which is I am going to just use my real-time log that I've done today and use that as sort of a inspiration or a guide. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you everything on it, but I'm going to use it as a sort of way for me to make sure. Honestly, this video log is really more difficult than I thought it would be, because it's like I really have to choose between, like, because if I told everything, then it would just be a live stream of my life 24/7, right? And I'm actually thinking of playing around with that idea. That's a future project, something along those lines. Not exactly that, but something along those lines, like some sort of live streaming thing. So I'm thinking of, as well as doing a video log, occasionally doing live streaming, like probably more so a scenario of like, oh, I feel like live streaming this particular thing, and then I'll do it, and then I'll give it like a discrete label, like a title. Like I'm going to the Maker Faire this Saturday. So like that would be really cool to like live stream like from there, and like giving commentary on stuff about it or whatever. And so right, so I'm using this list, and now I just got sidetracked. But I'm using this list, and so I'm gonna use it and tell you guys sort of oh right, so now I remember what I was trying to explain. So it's like, so there's some things, so I can't really just tell everything. And so of course I have to choose, oh, what things am I gonna tell? But like if I feel like I have 200 thoughts a day. I don't know how many thoughts a day. That's an interesting thought. How many thoughts do you have in a day? Well, that will require you to think about, well, what is a thought? How do you like chop off a thought from the whole stream, right? But like let's say I had like 200 thoughts a day, right? And let's say like I only have time to like tell about like 20 of them. But let's say there's like 50 good ones. So it's like shit, like it's really difficult for me to decide what to say and what not to say, because there's just so much that I would love to talk about and so much that I want to say. But anyway, so honestly, like the type of person that would really be able to receive like the highest amount of thoughts from me possible would be somebody that was like with me at all times, or like a lot of the time, like a girlfriend, for example. And so right, so one thing that I'm going to talk about from today is so I'm an Uber driver, and so I've initiated what I'd like to call a campaign. And what that is like a media campaign, sort of, actually. What I'm doing is like marketing. So I have like different ways of communicating and sending messages to my passengers that are sitting in the back. Right now it's only for the backseat passengers. I only have one sign in the front for the person in the front seat, but for the back seat, what I did was I bought 2 whiteboards, and I also bought sticky Velcro, and I'm attaching the whiteboards to the back of so actually you can see in the video the back of this whiteboard, so like it has a message on the other side, right? And so I have 2 whiteboards, and on one of the whiteboards I have a list of all of the things which I offer people in my Uber. So I offer water, tissues, mints, chargers of every type, caffeine pills, magazines, hand wipes, hand sanitizer, lotion, and also karaoke. And so I have a list of those things, and I say just ask. And then I say like Uber, unlike Lyft, unfortunately does not have in-app tipping, but I accept cash tips and I accept PayPal, and I have my email so that they can send me PayPal without even needing to ask me from their phone when they're in the back seat if they want. It's just a really simple way of sending money. And then I also have a tip jar. Yay! Tips. Okay, so I made this from this was $1. I got this at a dollar store. This was only $1. Okay. And I put Velcro strips on the bottom, and then I just attach it in there. Like, I put some Velcro strips here. Yeah. And this has Velcro strips. So this attaches there. And there's a slot which I'd cut out with scissors so people can, you know, put in cash. Oh, and I seeded it with my own cash. I put in a freaking 20 and a 5 and a 1. So, like, to send the message, guys, like, people do tip and they tip big. Yeah. Like, yeah. And today, I'm happy to report that I have 2 $5 bills in this that are not mine. So, I think my campaign has started to work. Today's the first day that I did it. And the other part of my campaign is on the whiteboard on the other headrest. I wrote